Hello, everyone, and welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 64. We're back again. It's a Wednesday. My name is John. I am joined by just one person, my ever faithful and reliable Andrea. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Laughing a little bit at feeling like I don't know. I'm being compared to like a border collie or something. Like, oh, faithful and reliable Andrea.
Yeah.
She's always there, just a step behind, begging for treats, and
Wow. Yeah,
No,
that's
it's good. It's
okay.
good. It's fun to. It feels like a throwback to the times that it was just the two of us. We've had so many
Oh,
people on, and it's been so fun to have so many guests. But
yeah.
yeah. Going original, old school,
Hmm.
just you and me.
It has been fun. We've been really shaking it up. Hope people are liking the guest additions. So we'll be back
Yeah,
to more of them. We got a summer of guests.
we do, yes, and if anybody has some favorites, anybody they wanna see more of, just let us know. We can
Yeah.
always invite them back.
Yeah. I mean, make some people feel sad. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, they didn't like me. Didn't you hear responses back about me?
That's right, everybody's gonna have,
Um,
like, flashbacks to grade school, not getting picked for teams in gym class, it'll be just like that.
right.
"Nobody picked
Yep.
me."
Hmm. Well, in terms of picking things, what did you pick to do this week for fun and entertainment?
Yeah, so I picked, um, for my mother, for Mother's Day, I got her a like yoga class that we could do together because she's been saying like, oh, I really want to work on my flexibility and do some more
Mm,
yoga. So I got us a class to go to out at St. Croix Vineyard. It's yoga in the vines, and you like literally go do yoga amongst the grapes, and then you come back and have a glass of wine after class. And definitely, like, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It was a great class.
really?
The instructor was fabulous. She really smoothly, adjusted things that she was gonna do for every level of, practitioner that was there, without, like, feeling like she was wasting anybody's time or, like, describing things too much or spending too much time on something. So the class flowed really well, I thought, um, and my mom and I both enjoyed it and, enjoyed our glass of wine afterwards. But holy cow, when I woke up the next morning, I was sore. Oh
Really? Wow.
yeah, my muscles were just like, "You haven't done this in a while. Remember that? Remember us?" Like the muscles you've been ignoring as you sit on your butt, trying to keep a tiny human alive. Yeah, we're still here. So,
Ah.
yeah,
How was your mom? How did she feel?
also sore because
Okay.
I mean, she did definitely all the beginner versions of all the poses, and I probably should have done that too. But, like, you're in the
Nope.
flow and you're
Gotta
feeling good
do it.
with it,
Yep.
and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna challenge myself, and I'm gonna show everybody here I can do the pose." So that's what
Yep.
I did, and, I don't know if I looked cool or not in the moment, but I definitely paid for it afterward. So,
What uh what kind of moves did you do?
I was doing, like, crow pose, um,
Okay.
that was probably the one that really, like, set me off, like, my triceps were just, like, absolutely burning
I
the
don't
next
know if I
day.
remember crow. That sounds really familiar,
Yeah, so you
but
so you balance on your arms and then you bring your legs up and rest your knees like the back
yep.
of your
Okay.
Yep. So it's
I
a lot of tricep push. And
yep.
yeah, my triceps were like, not today.
I kind of like hurt my wrist trying that one for the first time.
Yeah.
Just
You
like
get all
trying not to
wobbly.
fall on my face. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, if you fall anywhere, your face is like right there.
Yeah.
So that's what you're landing on.
At least
Uh,
you're kind of in the grass or whatever, right? So that's a little softer.
yeah, yeah, it had a little give to it. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, if anybody's ever looking for a good yoga class, like I said, I would highly recommend that one. Good price, good teacher, good glass of wine
Nice.
after. Yeah,
Cool.
yep, it was fun. yeah, other than that, just plowing through some more Resident Evil, getting further and further in anticipation of our show. So I'm very
Nice.
excited.
Nice. I hope our entire audience has been playing along so they can join in on the conversation
That's right.
and watch our spoiler filled talk about that coming soon. Um yeah, and then I'm sure like me, just consumed with E3 stuff. It's been a
Yes.
lot. So,
But yeah, it's been a whole
mhm,
week filled of gaming reveals and news and first looks and recaps, and there's
yep.
so much. It made me so excited like watching all of it. It was so great. But yeah, that's definitely a lot of time. You got to be
Yeah.
devoted to follow
How are
everything.
you Do you see yourself changing in the way you balance like gaming versus shows and stuff and reading? Because like I find over the years, I definitely that shifts back and forth and around for me, you
Mhm.
know. And for whatever reason it is, I've always been very interested in following games. So even
Sure.
the times when I wouldn't be playing as many games, I would still always be following it. It was more interesting to me to follow that than it was to follow music or movies or
Mhm.
something a lot of the time. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like I find myself, as the years go forward, increasing in my interest in gaming and how like following a game that I'm interested in and seeing how it's being made and looking for announcements, um, about like, oh, like exciting, voice actor news or, like this composer's coming to this. So yeah, I find myself interested, but very selective about what I'm interested in, just because, we
Hmm.
all do have limited amounts of time and I do want to get to a lot of different things.
Yep.
So, yeah. So while gaming is probably increased in like the time that, you know, it has in my, protected leisure activities, um,
Hmm.
still very cautious about like not trying to get too overwhelmed with like following
Yep.
everything.
Just got to find those few things like we're talking pre-show, how easy, like once you get through the intro, how easy it is to jump in and out of Outriders. There's just certain games that you
Yep.
can just easily pick away at. You play a little bit, or even like some games coming up we'll talk about in a bit that
Hmm.
just are made for that sort of drop in, drop out kind of thing. Um,
Right.
I find those are really nice when you don't want to become like all consumed in something,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but
it can start to feel daunting. You're like, "Oh, I'm really excited to play, but I don't have that much time. Like, is it even worth
yep.
it?" You know? And like just today even, like I was like, "Oh, I just have like half an hour. Like, should I go play Resident Evil?" And I was like, "Yes, I should. I should just do it."
Hmm.
And I end up getting sucked in a little bit more than I intended, but only by like 10 minutes. Like, that's
Sure.
fine, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
But yeah, it is a different mindset for different games.
Yep. I did finish. I haven't done much gaming this week because I hurt my hand. So I did like finish Resident Evil Village because I was running along on that, and then we were going to talk Shadow and Bone. So I halted, dead stop, and powered through that.
Mhm.
So then I finished Resident Evil Village, but you're required to run a lot in the game,
Mhm.
and to run you have to press down on the left stick
Yep.
normal. And that hurt my hand quite a lot. So I fortunately basically just had the last boss. That that is all I had left is the last boss battle. So a couple attempts on that, and then I was good.
Sure.
So
You were
I
free.
did that. Yeah. And I've been withholding my thoughts on that game.
Mhm.
So we can get into it later. And I was intending to play this game so once my hand's better I will called Wallachia. And it's I
Why does
originally
that
saw
sound
it
familiar?
because it's like Castlevania.
Yeah, isn't there like a country in there?
Yeah, Wallachia, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So this is a vampire thing.
Mhm.
And it's a game that I saw 2 years ago at our local gaming convention, 2D Con. And so they had, like I've talked about before, but they have these set up for game developers. They'll come in,
Right.
they're bringing in their game, and you can sit down and play it and take their card, and then some handheld stickers and whatever. And one of my favorites that year was a game called Wallachia, and it is styled like a Sega Genesis game, sort of a 90s side-scrolling action platformer game.
Mhm.
And so I immediately connected to it. Plus, looks like a Castlevania game,
Yeah.
but in like the Genesis visual style.
Sure.
And I was just thinking the other night, like, man, I wonder if that game is out finally now. Like, I haven't heard anything about it or whatever. And so I just went on the Switch store and I was looking around, and sure enough, it was there on the Switch store. It might have even been on sale. I don't know. So, yeah, super excited to pick that one up, support an
That's
indie developer that I actually met and talked to,
yeah,
and
that's
yeah,
really
I
cool.
hope it's good. Yeah. So that's happened before too. The year prior to that was the people that were showing off Hyperdot, and Hyperdot
Right.
was
I
in
remember you talking about that.
Game Pass. Yep. And so I played that through Game Pass quite a bit actually. So yeah, it's fun. So, anyways, I was intending to get to that and didn't. So this week I did watch more besides E3 stuff, which we'll get to. I've been trying to make my way through Demon Slayer, Mythic Quest. So those
Excellent.
have been fun, been very good. I'm getting a little more into Demon Slayer, being introduced to some different characters. So it's starting to appeal to me a little more,
Mhm.
despite the Black Star effect. Like I don't know if it's I I think of an anime where there's an incredibly loud character,
Mhm.
never shuts up. I think Black Star from Soul Eater.
Sure.
And there's
Yep.
plenty of
Mhm.
anime that have that, and this has those kinds of characters as well. And I can only take so much of it. So that's my complaint thus far. But
Well, you said this anime has those type of characters. Is there more than one? Is
there's
that why
two. There's two that like to
uh,
go at it now. Yeah. Yep.
that's tough. That's tough.
Yep. hmm But they are well voice acted, so I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. Trope Salon says yes, it's definitely a thing.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I watched the first episode of C on Apple TV Plus, starring Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
It's
how was that?
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It gave me some Mad Max vibes at points. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going. Like it's visually good. It's interesting. Just with so much, I don't know if I'll keep going or not. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised more people, I guess, didn't take a look at it,
It
considering Jason Momoa is kind of big right now and stuff. So
it doesn't yeah, I mean he is, but it doesn't really feel like it was well right, you know?
maybe, yeah, maybe this season two will they'll course correct on that,
Mhm.
do a better job.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't think you can just like I mean, like you said, Jason Momoa is very big right now, but I don't think you can just rely on that and like fans who love him to like spread the word. I feel like you do need to be
yep,
like, no, we should probably put some money into again, especially Apple TV should put money into anything that they want to succeed because you need to get it before people's eyes and they're just not naturally inclined to go to Apple TV right now. It's just not like, oh right, like let's check out Apple TV. Like
yep,
it's just
right,
not your go-to platform.
yep, yep. And then, are you watching through Loki yet? Have
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Okay,
Started episode 1.
okay.
So
I've
I'm
seen
excited.
episode one, and yeah, I'm based on episode one. I am excited to talk about this. So,
Yes. Yes, I agree. And episode 2 dropped today. So we'll be
hmm
watching that as well soon.
yep, yep. So for everybody listening, we intend to go through the series. We're gonna
Hmm.
take it in halves. It's short, so probably first three episodes and the second three episodes. So
Yep.
for you binge watchers, that will be good. I know my sister and brother-in-law, they don't watch like a lot. Like when we do weekly episodes talking about things, they often don't tune in or whatever then because they want to just watch it all at once. And so they
Oh,
wait for
okay.
it to be done and then watch it all.
Sure.
So, yep. And then I wanted to like just quickly before we get to drinks and news and stuff, I
Yeah.
uh share an anecdotal piece of evidence. Um so last week we were talking about how it's very strange that Marvel movies in particular they're like the most successful thing right now in forms
Yeah.
of movies and now television as well. They're in the list always of most watched television shows. And none of that translates to comic book sales. And
Hmm.
so the comic book industry likes to make a lot of different excuses. But they're never in the top sales charts. They can never make this stuff work. So it's like everybody acts like it's a dying medium, but manga seems to suggest it's not a dying medium.
Right.
It's a couple of dying companies that lack creativity or the ability to give fans what they want. So I was in Barnes and Noble, and they have this new section here. This picture, if you're watching the program,
Hmm.
this new squared off section, though there's some anime related figures in the middle,
Hmm.
are three walls basically of Western comics. I think one
Okay.
section is like some D&D stuff. That's where these two gentlemen are looking right now. There's some
Hmm.
like art books for video games and some D&D handbooks and stuff like that. The rest is
Okay.
Western comics, and it is okay, fine, whatever. You have a lot of choices. But I also took a picture of the neighboring aisle right next to it, which is two aisles, and you couldn't even go in the aisle. These two aisles are all manga. So there's like
Wow.
in this picture here, 2, 4, 6 people that you can see, another
Yeah.
lady waiting to go in, and um, that's the way it was the entire time we were in there. So
Sure.
people are interested in manga and reading, and there's light novels in there too. There's a section now they have of light novels or whatever. But I just thought it was funny. We're just talking about this, just
Yeah.
looking at sales charts, seeing how Western comics are particularly the big two are failing. And then I go into his store, and sure enough, the manga aisle is packed and you have to like bump shoulders to get in there, and the American comics aisle has two people in it looking at D&D stuff, not even the comics. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's my
This definitely seems to support your theory. And honestly, I mean, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but in looking at the way that things for Netflix's Geeked Week were presented, which happened alongside
mm,
E3 this week, I think that really is also the case for like the medium of shows. Like they're interested in basing things off of like manga or like anime, and
yeah,
not so much like about superhero stuff. So I mean, we
right.
could talk about that later, but like just to sort of like sense a, you know, shift in what people are interested in right now, what the basis is for a lot of stories that people are interested in telling. So yeah, not so much
Yeah.
superheroes. Superheroes are kind of fading out.
Western superheroes.
Western
The
superheroes. You're correct. You're
yes.
correct.
um and maybe, yeah, we get some, like everybody has an idea in their head in the West like what a superhero looks like. Well, they get
Yeah.
some different ideas in Japan what a superhero looks like. It can be a little more varied, perhaps.
Mhm.
So all right, I see you sipping on a cocktail. What have you got? What are the holidays? What's going on with the drink segment here?
Yeah, yeah. So for as far as drinks go this week, we've got some strong ones. Um, this past Monday was National Bourbon Day, and so that is what I am celebrating. I have got bourbon and lemonade because I just wanted a little refreshing twist. 'Cause it's getting
Yeah.
into summertime and it's hot outside, so got myself a little bourbon lemonade. I feel like I should have a southern accent and a fan, and
I know
I don't
you
know.
almost went there.
I know,
Like I could hear it.
I felt the twang going on. I couldn't even stop it. uh, so yes, I've got a little bourbon lemonade cocktail here. And then at the end of the week on June 19th, it is National Gin Day or National Martini Day. Sorry, I'm saying gin
Martini, yeah.
because we were just talking
We're talking about it.
before the
Yeah.
show about how you should be celebrating National Martini Day.
Yeah.
I'm so
For
sad that
whatever
you.
reason, I know. For whatever reason, Bourbon Day stuck in my head when I checked the
Mhm.
list here. And so I was looking through, and sure enough, I don't have any bourbon. Of all the whiskey we have, I don't have any bourbon. So but I could have made a martini, absolutely. So
Yeah. Yeah, our Bond
um
guy not taking the chance to
mhm,
celebrate Martini Day. Oof.
yeah, it's wrong. What's
It
wrong with
is
me?
wrong. It's wrong.
Um
Well,
no,
what
but
are
I
you
have
celebrating with?
so I mean, I am drinking a drink that contains an ingredient in most martinis, and that's or a lot of many ways, and that's vodka. So I have a drink that I just made quick that's there's this vodka called Local, spelled with a K. It's from Minnesota here. And
Oh,
so, and this
interesting.
one I believe is made with corn.
Okay.
So, just not the normal like potatoes or wheat or anything
Right.
like that. So, um, got that. That's in here. Plus, I found this British um elderflower liqueur,
Mm,
um, Chase, called Chase elderflower liqueur. And so that's in here. And then a little bit of fresh mint and topped up with a sparkling orange mango like water.
ooh,
Like
that sounds
so.
great.
Yeah, it's refreshing. I was
Mhm.
like I didn't know what the liqueur is sweeter than expected, so I didn't need to add really any sweetness that was already there. And then I didn't want to add too much, or I figured I'd lose the elderflower that would go
Mhm.
away quick. So
Right.
yeah, but yeah, it's it's refreshing.
Do you have a
So
name for your little cocktail creation?
no, I didn't think of one.
Next
I
time.
don't know what. Yeah, elderflower. Maybe maybe we'll think of one throughout the show, or someone pops in the chat. You can let me know what it should be. So
Mike's got ideas.
I know, right? He's got it's called the like don't drink so much alcohol drink.
Stop it,
Yeah.
John.
Be healthier drink. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as you had mentioned, we have Netflix's Geeked Week kind of
Mhm.
kicking off Summer Games Fest. Sort of, I don't know how that relationship actually went, but
Yeah.
yeah, Netflix sort of spent a lot of time talking about their nerdy things that were in the works.
Mhm.
Um, what'd you all learn
Yeah.
from this event, or what'd you think of
Yeah,
it?
it was kind of a mix of a few things that we had already known before, and then a few new announcements. So I mean, kind of actually, very typical of many of the gaming showcases that we saw. It's a recap
Hmm.
of some things, but then you do get some new announcements. For example, a recap was Shadow and Bone is renewed for season two. Well, we did
Yep.
already know that, but it's still exciting to have, an announcement confirming
Sure.
that anyway, and seeing some of the cast members who are for sure coming back. Um, not just like our main trio, but like the Crows are coming back, and um Nina and Matthias, or Matthias. I'm not sure which way he says his name, but they're coming back as well. So that was just kind of fun to know. But then also we did get bigger, newer casting announcements for shows like Stranger Things season 4. We got introduced to 3 new characters who are going to be joining everybody in Hawkins this next season that's upcoming. So that was
Mm.
fun to see, kind of get like a brief description of some of them. Um, some of the character descriptions clearly alluded to things in school. So we know that it's, still going to be like a school focused drama, which it kind of hasn't been as much this past
Sure.
season. So it kind of tells you like a little bit about like the direction the show's going. So yeah, so it was fun to get that mix of new and old. I was particularly interested in not only the Stranger Things announcement, like of course the rest of the world, but announcements of newer shows. Um, like obviously we learned that we're getting not more Castlevania, unfortunately, but we're getting a spin-off of Castlevania, which is going to
But
focus on spoiler alert, if anybody has not finished Castlevania season 4,
well,
Sypha and
well,
Trevor.
just say
Okay, all right, he's got spoilers. He's got spoilers.
well,
I'm safe, right?
you could just say that it's Richter. The show is
You're
focusing
Belmont.
on Richter.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
So,
Thank you, Alan, for covering me. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
I think that's cool. They got the Richter Belmont. I mean, so people are, you know, bummed. Hey, we're done with Castlevania, and I thought they'd be moving on to the Devil May Cry or something completely different. But yeah, it's cool that we're getting some more in a different time period in the
Hmm.
same universe.
Right.
Um, and I
And
hope that, yeah,
yeah, I hope it's a good show. I hope, they've got some great ideas for it. I'm interested, I thought Castlevania per our discussion wrapped up really well. So I'm not, you know, while I would have watched more, absolutely, I'm not terribly sad to leave these characters because I feel like
yeah,
it's, we left them in a good place. So I'm cool to transfer now to, new characters if we get the same great writing and the same like great story arc plans
yep.
that we saw in Castlevania.
Well, I mean, this first series really gave a confidence that they have a story to tell, that
Hmm.
they know they want to tell. So it's not this never ending thing or whatever. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm confident that if they're doing this other series in the
Hmm.
Castlevania world, that they know the story they want to tell, you
Right,
know? And
right.
it's not just like let's figure out something else to work on and like make it happen. That instead they're like, no, this is the next phase we want to talk about. So
Right. Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I think it's going to be excellent.
yeah. I
I'm putting some faith and trust in here, but I think it's well founded.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, they've earned it at this point.
Hmm.
I missed a lot of this stuff. I did see, a little recap of some things, some highlight reels or whatever, and I did see quite a bit of anime. I noted in
Yes,
particular that it seems like
a whole
Netflix is
day.
getting a Gundam,
Yes,
so
they are.
that's pretty cool. I've been in and out of Gundam so I definitely couldn't call myself. Fans wouldn't consider me a fan because
Hmm.
there's only like only like two series I've ever watched um like in earnest out of the many years and many series of Gundam.
Hmm.
But I'm always excited to see what the next one is. Maybe I'll like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they Netflix had a whole slate of, animated or anime related uh, you know, series that they were talking about. They had a whole day, like I was saying earlier, kind of when you were talking about how popular like manga and anime are right now versus like sort of Western focused superheroes. Netflix had a whole day where they were like, we're just going to talk about, everything anime and manga related that we're building at Netflix right now. Um,
Yep.
and I think that goes to show like how invested they are and how much they understand the content that people want.
Yep.
So I was really excited about a lot of the announcements in that arena. Um, I think probably cautiously, um, Cowboy Bebop, even though I know it's going to be live action. I'm cautiously excited about it because I do have to say I totally love John Cho. He is just like ugh, my heart. I love that man. Because I think he does. I think he does like everything well. Even though I'm like terrible, I'm also just like I want to support him, so I'm gonna watch it. But something I think less controversial, that I'm also excited for is Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods. The voice cast announcement that they had is just like full of some of my favorite people.
Hmm. Oh
Like,
no.
oh, we
Alan
lost me.
said he lost you for a second. I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know what part
John's like,
exactly.
I wish I couldn't hear you as you talk
No,
about how you're gonna
it's
watch
talking about
Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop.
Bebop.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
do it.
difficult. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. I mean, I don't know if you were. I don't know if you were there at this con, but one of your friends or someone you knew from college was running the panel about
Ben.
who. What's that?
Was it Ben?
I think so. Saying the
Yeah.
best composer is Yoko Kanno. That was the whole idea of the panel, like
Yeah,
the
and
greatest
they just
composer of all
announced
time.
yeah, they just announced
Yes,
he's gonna be composing for Cowboy Bebop.
she. So yes, um,
Did I say he?
I think so. And then I
Okay.
cut there. Maybe you kind of cut there. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So she's gonna be there. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to hear that. But it's like I don't. I just don't want it messed with. Just leave it
Yeah.
alone. But I'll have to see, because look, if it's great, then fine. I'll have to give him, credit for trying and making something awesome. I
Mhm.
just I just have
Yeah.
have no confidence at this point. So, and there's
Yeah.
nothing they could do to give me confidence. It's not like on
No,
them.
yeah.
It's not like on the cast. Like there's nothing you can do. The
Well,
biggest thing they've got
there's
is that
no
Yoko Kanno's doing the music. That's the biggest thing. It's like,
there's
okay,
nothing they could do except release it and you can see
yes,
what you think.
yes, hmm
There's
right,
no like pre-show announcement that could make you be like, "All right, this is going to be great." It's
yep,
just you have to see it.
right.
I get that.
I mean, of anime to be adapted into live action, it kind of calls back to our episode a couple weeks ago with our animator friend Dustin. We were
Yeah.
talking a little bit about the value of animation. Um, I do have to say that Cowboy Bebop is a more grounded show than a lot of
Mhm.
things that maybe they people tried to adapt to live action.
Mhm.
So if you're looking through a list of things, I can understand why Cowboy Bebop would be appealing to
Right.
try to adapt for sure.
Seems more
S-
possible. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. So,
But yeah,
okay. Well, yeah.
other than
It's
that, like I said, I am super pumped mostly about um Twilight of the Gods. It's going to be awesome. Like Lauren Cohan is voicing a character. You obviously Walking Dead. Um, oh my gosh, I can't say his name. But it's Torvald from um oh Christopher, is it Christopher Keeview? I don't know, I don't remember, but it's um from Game of Thrones, the redheaded wildling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wyndham
Uh,
Rewards wizard.
yes. Yep. Yep. You are correct, sir. And then John Noble is also going to be a voicing in it. He is Denethor from Lord of the Rings, Boromir
Oh,
and
okay.
Faramir's dad, and he is
Nice.
excellent. So yeah, so just like a fun cast. Oh, and speaking of our show a couple weeks ago, or yeah, last week with Pete, um, Peter Stormare is also going to be a voice actor because we were talking about
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
we were talking about the Big
Yeah.
Lebowski.
Let's
So
get
yeah, so
into
just
the
like a
yeah.
fun cast in there, and I was very
Mm-hmm.
excited about it.
Sure. All right. Well, on to the onslaught of gaming news. I'll just throw it out there on top right now that because maybe you're interested in going out and doing this is active. There's demos available, 40 plus demos available right now,
Yes.
that are like early demos for
Yep.
Xbox. And so it's kind of like the gaming convention I talk about where indie developers come out and show you their in progress game, let you sample it. That's kind of what this is too. So it's not a demo in the sense that the demo here's a version of the finished game for you to test out. These are early builds.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's over 40 of them you can go and take a look at. Some bigger games of note too that I was interested in for sure, like Sable and Tunic, I
Mhm.
believe are on this list. So yeah, get out there and try them. So
Well,
last
it's just a
year,
way to know what you're going to be excited about.
yeah, last year we things were all odd. So we had
Mhm.
Jeff Keighley filling in and doing some summer games stuff. He started his own kind of thing that stretched out through the summer, and different sites kind of did their own thing as well. All that. Well, this year was odd again because E3 was doing their event virtually, but normally they have Jeff Keighley at E3 hosting. Like he's
Right.
like their guy, you know? And so it makes sense why last year he did his own thing. But now, like, instead of working together, they didn't. They're separate again. So we sort of have two gaming events competing, happening
Mhm.
at the same time, sort of thing. So but this basically Keeley kicked things off first. So he's kind of
Mhm.
part of the Netflix Geeked Week thing, and then did his Summer Game Fest opening show, which I think was probably when we look at showcases, it really was like this one, the Xbox one, and the Nintendo one. Those were kind of the big
Yeah.
ones, and everything else was pretty small in comparison.
Mhm.
It seemed. So, getting into Summer Games Fest, what did you think of the whole deal? Did you get to watch it all, or some breakdowns, or find some games in there that you're interested in? Or
Yeah. So
I know
I
it's like
did.
three questions in one, but
I'll try to take them one at a time. Um, so I did get to watch all of it, though not continuously. Just it was one of the longer showcases, so I did have to break away at a couple moments during the live stream. Um, but I thought that it kicked off well. It kicked off like high energy. It really kicked off with a game that excited me, um, which was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And it was just like a fun opening, I thought it was a good strategy for opening. Like not only is it um colorful, is it action packed, is it high energy, but you've really got some big names attached to this game, which I really was kind of funny as I went through all of the week and each gaming showcase, and I was really thinking about, the games that were presented. There were really a lot of high profile like Hollywood actors attached to games in just like a larger way that I hadn't felt before. And
hmm,
maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my sense, but it really sort of made me feel like, gaming I know that, stars have been attached to games before and have done voice acting for games, but I just really feel like it's almost like the next thing that a lot of stars are going to be doing is games. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like, it's just
Yeah.
like we saw like a slew of um movie stars kind of shift to TV when felt like there's like this new golden age of TV, and like all these big names were attached to TV projects, whereas before, like, TV was kind of like the ugly cousin of movies. Now I really feel
Right.
like they're sort of like shifting that same mindset into games.
Yep.
And it just like felt that way right from the beginning with this game that's being
I
shown
think
on the
that
screen for our viewing audience.
I think that Hollywood will be the last to admit that. They're kind of gonna trail
Absolutely.
behind that. But I think that others, the people recognize that's the
Mhm.
case. Like they're
Yeah.
not seeing television or games as lesser than.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and and yeah, good on some actors for seeing that and getting out, ahead of the curve, trying to get um your voice acting chops, you know,
Yeah.
practiced up because that's a different skill,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I think it's definitely only the beginning. Seeing someone like Keanu Reeves the other year on stage for Xbox, and stuff,
Mhm.
like it's only gonna, sometimes it's weird, sometimes Vin
Yeah.
Diesel's out there and they're
Oh, oh,
showing a Fast and
cringe.
Furious game wherever that looks so bad. That
Cringe.
happens too.
Oh, yeah.
But
We can definitely talk more about that, but yeah. I felt like there were a lot of, actor appearances during these showcases. Um, like Norman Reedus, James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, who I know are both from the same game, but still.
yep.
Um, yeah, it just felt like this is just becoming more and more of a thing, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, I've not played much of Borderlands. You're the
Mhm.
Borderlands player, so I'm not particularly interested in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but it's could be good. There were certainly some other games that I was that caught my attention. I thought
Mhm.
it was a good showcase. There's plenty of things I didn't
Yeah,
care about, but that were still quality that I'm sure someone else cared about.
right.
Um, the Anacrusis is a game coming to
Mhm.
Game Pass day one that I am very interested in. It's sort of a Left 4 Dead style game, but looks a little 70s and it's on like a spaceship or something.
Yeah.
So a very different kind of vibe. And it was the first game we saw that's really kicking off I think a Left 4 Dead style
Mhm.
trend.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a lot of games kind of in this vein of play together with up to three of your friends as a group with
Yes.
differing abilities. I mean, it's not like this is new, but I just think that it seems like there's a resurgence here of that kind of
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Little
you know
renaissance.
yeah, well, fans have been wanting a Left 4 Dead 3 for years, and Valve
Mhm.
just doesn't give it to them. Valve just
Yep.
doesn't care. So some of the people that made Left 4 Dead are doing Back for Blood, which is another game they show
Yeah.
later. And it's not, this is literally the ripoff. This is literally Left 4 Dead 3, but they can't call it that.
Right.
And so yeah,
Well,
when Valve
yeah.
won't deliver, someone else will do it
Back
for him. So
for blood, left
yeah.
forward dead. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yep. Yes. So Back for Blood we'd already heard about, but
Mhm.
same with Monster Hunter Stories. We'd heard, like, as you'd mentioned earlier, a lot of these things we had heard of or seen. Maybe we got a
Mhm.
little more. Um, Tunic was a big one.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. It looks like for people that Breath of the Wild was too removed for them from Zelda, what they're used to it being, or people that just grew tired of most of the Zelda games coming out that get the attention being 3D ones.
Mhm.
Um, we're getting another company making basically a Zelda game, a classic Zelda game, isometric. They call it Tunic. He's wearing a tunic like Link would be wearing.
Yeah.
So you get to play you're a little cute fox guy. So yeah, I'm ready to try this one for sure too.
Yeah.
And then the other, well, okay, there's two games for me yet that stood out in this. One is Tribes of Midgard coming out
Yeah.
in July, and I am excited about that because it looked like just the kind of game that a group of friends and I like to play together. So hopefully that will be a game we play. And then Elden Ring. Do you want to hear
Yeah.
the rumor drama about Elden Ring? This
Obviously.
is okay. This is the rumor drama. The rumor was that Microsoft had paid to get Elden Ring on their show. They wanted to
Okay.
have, so be a promotional deal there. Hey, we're giving you money. We want to reveal your first big trailer that features gameplay on our
Right.
stage. And that was apparently a done deal. And then Sony came to him and said, "Oh, really? You want to be on Microsoft stage? Are you sure you
Mhm.
want to be on Microsoft stage? Do you like working with Sony? Do you like your games being on Sony platforms?" And kind of like strong arm them. And so then Jeff Keighley got it. And I sent it over to Jeff Keighley, the neutral
Wow.
party. Um, and so Jeff Keighley got it for his the ending of his showcase. That's rumor. It's not for sure, but that's what's been going around. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, true or not, Jeff Keighley was definitely the benefactor here.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
Hmm.
this is what a way to close out the show. It's something that everybody's been waiting so long to get a peek at and get to see more of. And yeah. I don't
Hmm.
like I said, true or not, like everybody, I mean, you should never really look at the comments in like a gaming showcase because my god. But everybody, I just remember when the closing hit and Elden Ring dropped, and it was just like everybody was just losing their minds. Like because the
Yeah.
whole chat was just like, we're not gonna get Elden Ring, we're not gonna get Elden Ring, we're not getting anything, like meh. And then it hit, and it was just like, oh my god, it's here.
I
So
was
yeah, so good for
yeah.
Jeff Keighley. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever way that worked out to benefit him, it really did.
Yep. I was telling Alan the other day, producer Alan, that I'm looking for the game that is in the Soulsborne style that
Hmm.
really gets me into it. For instance, Ashley never liked turn-based games. She just didn't
Sure.
like that kind of that's boring and stupid.
That play,
Then
yeah.
she played
Mhm.
Persona 5, and now she loves turn-based games. She plays tons
Okay.
of them, like very deep, and like basically tactics kind of games. She never would have touched these things, but Persona 5 was so cool, such pizzazz and style that it like that got her into it,
Mhm.
and now it's opened the floodgates. So I'm waiting for that game that is so cool that I just can't not play, even though I suck at it. And like I'll just work at it enough to get good. And then that will start translating to these other games, and I can experience this kind of game that so many
Sure.
people freak the F out about. So I'm hoping that's Elden Ring. That's my hope. So
With all the hype surrounding it, I mean, I hope it is too. I hope it is for
mhm,
everybody
mhm,
because yeah, I just can't imagine how disappointing it's going to be if this game is disappointing.
right. Yep. So coming next year, I believe. I don't know if I saw at the end of the trailer there, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's early next
January.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, just half a year away, just a little 6-month jump, and then we're there.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, that was Summer Games Fest opening from Jeff Keighley, and I think it was pretty good. I mean, ultimately, not too bad. I think I'd give it like a I don't know, somewhere in the B category,
Yeah,
maybe B minus or something like that.
BB minus, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We also then went on to, I believe it's the same day, we had a few other events. And we don't have to go into them in detail, but because there's just so many. There's Day of the Devs, Tribeca Games Spotlight,
Mhm.
um, Koch Primetime, or Kutch Catch.
Yeah,
Like literally people said it multiple different ways within it.
I
And I've
hate
never heard
that.
of this company. I don't know what's going on with it. It's I just don't have comments on Coach Primetime really until I know more what they are. We get these games sometimes that appear from nowhere that look
Mhm.
impressive or something, and
Yep,
then you like never hear about them.
yep.
They just seem to go away, or they never come out in the West, or I don't know. There's
Right.
there's so I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Out of the blue for me.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
and then the Ubisoft event and the Devolver Digital event. So a lot.
yeah. Yeah, big couple of days. I do have to say before we close out, Summer Game Fest, um, I saw some games that I was interested in, but I also saw some games that I'm a little disappointed in. Um,
Oh.
because like I saw a slew of games based on shows or movies, and I'm not really a fan of like this reverse,
Mm,
engineered. Like, I love a lot of shows that have been, coming out of streaming companies that have been based on games. And again, Netflix had like a whole day this week during Geek Week when they talked about, all the series that they're planning to develop from video games. Excited about it. But I'm not excited about the opposite. Like we saw
mhm.
a Stranger Things game, we saw a Fast and Furious game, both of which I was just like, these do nothing for me. Like these,
Yep.
don't add anything. There's no like interesting story. It's just like, hey, did you like the TV show? Basically, you could like play through the TV show like it's a game now. And it's like, why? I already watched the TV show and it was so good. Like,
Yep.
why are you trying to ruin this?
Yep.
So, but then, like, I put him in the notes. I confused myself because I saw the trailer for the Evil Dead game and was like, this looks so much fun. Like, great job, whoever thought of this. This is amazing. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it's because the trailers for Stranger Things and Fast and Furious were like serious. They were trying to be like, "Oh, this is going to be, epic and cool and like look at this like dramatic gameplay we're showing you." It's kind of the same thing I felt like with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were trying to be like too like this is so cool, like look at how cool this is. Where Evil Dead just like was funny and natural and like whatever, like we're just gonna throw stuff
Mhm.
out there, take it or leave it. Like we think it's awesome. So I don't know. I felt like there was something different there where like the Evil Dead game just felt to me like somebody created it out of joy. And like the others were more like let's see, if we can get fans to like buy this thing or like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something
Yeah.
missing. They fell very
No.
flat for me.
I mean, that's the completely the reason why usually games or movies that are made into games and games that are made into movies don't work out is because historically they've just been cash grabs.
Yeah.
The whoever owns the IP sees an opportunity to use the IP, the name recognition that IP has, to sell it in another medium. They know
Mhm.
that regardless of quality, it's going to sell enough copies to make a profit.
Yeah.
That's the bet they're taking. And so it's not that saying that the people making the games aren't trying or they're not talented or anything like that.
Right.
But whoever's setting it up is setting them up to fail, you know.
Mhm.
It's and so it's a lot, it just comes across as half-hearted.
Mhm.
And you know when things are when they're serious, when they're trying something different. You know, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a good example. It's a new story in the Star Wars universe that's canon, that has like interesting game mechanics. It's new characters, like the whole shebang. It has the production value. It's not
Right.
a retelling of something. It's not a low
Right.
budget something. It's like a legit, hey, legit studio. Take this thing, do what you want with it, be creative. And I mean, it shows. You can tell, and then
Mhm.
you can tell when it's not. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was really transparent here in these couple of games.
So, yeah, I'm good with that. Not being a trend because I feel like that is ending more. There was
Mhm.
definitely an era, probably in the 90s or the thousands, where it's just constantly trying to make these
Yes.
adaptations one way or another, and they're not memorable for a reason. So,
Mhm. Yep.
yeah. I want to call out in the Tribeca game spotlight the
Yeah.
12 minutes trailer, which
That
we've
looks
heard
so
about for a
awesome.
long time. It's got
Mhm.
the big actors, like you're saying. It's very unique looking. It's coming to Game Pass day one, I think.
Mhm.
I'm all there for it. I'm ready to play.
Yes.
I think it was shown a couple times during the week here
Yeah.
at various places, so it's just time for the game to drop. They can't really show more or do gameplay because it's a very story specific mystery
Right.
thing. I don't want to see any more.
Mhm.
Just
I
ready
do
for it to
like
drop.
yeah, I do like this whole like Groundhog Day premise of, and I don't think I'm like really spoiling anything here. I mean, if you've seen any trailer, like you get what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, this whole like Groundhog Day premise of like reliving and reliving and reliving. And I think that is also something like a framing concept that is really popular right now. And
Yep.
I think it's a
Hmm.
cool idea to bring it back in a game.
Sure.
So yeah, a very cool concept, very different than I think than I even though I say it's a popular concept right now, I think it's a popular concept in like shows and movies and not so much in gaming. So I'm like interested to see how that will work in a game. And I think that's
I mean,
unique
it's
here.
coming to gaming. We have this one, and then we're gonna have Death Loop,
Right. Right.
and then Returnal is out now too. So it's
Picking up
it's
speed
it
here too. Yeah.
yeah, it is interesting how these things go in waves like that.
Mhm.
It's very interesting how that happens. I'm sure there's been studies done on the whole thing, like, you know, why we have when we're gonna have a end of the world catastrophe movie or whatever, we have three of them that come out within
Yeah.
the same year, you know? And it's not because they were like coordinating on it. You know, sometimes it's someone heard about someone doing a script about this kind of thing, and so
Mhm.
some other studio wants a response. But often these things are written years in advance, not with any sort of communication with someone else, and yet the same kind of premise is developed. So there must be something in society, something in the news,
Right.
something that's happening that universally triggers something. It's like me making sourdough, right?
Right.
With no outside
You have no
context
idea.
that
Yeah,
it, yeah,
until
that
I told you.
so, me being apparently a, you know, foolish sheep just like walked right into the pen of sourdough. You know,
Unintentional sheep, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You were
Well,
there
a
in the
sheep
pen with the
isn't
rest of
aware.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. A sheep isn't aware. So, yeah. Anyways, um, let's see. Then the Ubisoft Forward event.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I think for a for like developer publisher, um, their event was pretty. what you might expect. We
Yeah.
got to see a little bit of a few different things, touch on Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 6 again. Nothing real new. I guess the
Mhm.
big one was kind of Mario and Rabbids having a sequel there.
Yeah.
So that's good. Um, yeah. But like you don't need to be sold on Far Cry anymore. You already bought in.
I really don't. Like I was really interested not only obviously I think I'll start probably with Far Cry 6, especially because these games aren't interrelated, so there's no need to like carry on a storyline throughout like the Far Cry series. But I thought it
Mhm.
was really cool that in addition to showing again what we're going to expect for Far Cry 6, that they're making, if you buy the season pass of Far Cry 6, you're also going to get like all the Far Cry games. And yeah, like I mean, it's not that much more money and to get access to a lot of back content, like why
Mhm.
wouldn't you? I don't know. I
Sure.
just feel like,
Yeah.
it's a good idea to kind of bring old content back.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's been a rumor that Ubisoft will be bringing their service to Game Pass, just like EA did with EA Origin.
Sure.
Um, and that has not happened. And I wonder if it was a last minute pivot or
Mhm.
what exactly, because yeah, doing this sort of season pass thing seems like, well, we're just gonna, you know, we'll stick to doing this kind of thing ourselves. We think we can make this
Mhm.
work or whatever,
Mhm.
instead. But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, why not? If six definitely seems like the one that you'd be most interested in. It's got your favorite actor in there or one of
Mhm.
them. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, well, and I mean,
And
if you like it, then I mean, you're taking a little bit of a gamble, but if you like it, then you're really getting, 6 games for the price of 2 brand new games.
sure. Yep.
I mean, that to me is a steal. So, and I think they did a good job here of reminding people who've maybe played Far Cry games before of like they were talking about the great villains that are
Mm.
in the Far Cry
Hmm.
games, and they did a great job of like bringing that back around and like maybe reminding people who've played it before like how cool this is, but then introducing people who haven't to some pretty cool looking villains and some pretty like badass looking characters.
Yeah, they're
And I
always
think
kind of
that
those far out Bond villain kind of larger than life
yeah,
things.
yeah, but like they didn't feel to me like silly or over the top. They felt like larger than life, but like still in a like I'm invested, like this is cool way.
Hmm. I can't speak too much on it, I guess. Like I say,
Yeah.
I've followed Far Cry, but I've not played it. So,
Yeah, haven't played it either, but I just think it was a well put out bit for Far Cry, not only for
mhm.
Far Cry 6, but the whole series.
Yep. So yeah, that was the Ubisoft event. I liked that they didn't just announce another Assassin's Creed, that they're
Mhm.
having continuing to support the
Yeah.
one that's already out, support Valheim or
Mhm.
Valhalla. So that's good. Doing their history tour mode and stuff. I always like that. I know they had some sort of thing like that with the Assassin's Creed Origins when I played. You
Yeah.
could have a special mode where you go and tour the pyramids and such. So
Mhm.
that's the thing I like about Assassin's Creed the most. Like, I'm just not an Ubisoft gamer. I just don't like the way that their characters move and the look and the whole thing. But I
Mhm.
really appreciate the detail and intricacy that they put into recreating different cities and stuff like that. So,
Yes. Yes. At their historical moment.
yep, yep,
Yeah, they really invest a lot in that, and I think that's really something I would praise them for. That's a big kudos to them for doing that.
yep, yep. So.
We did
The
also
digital. Oh, go ahead.
so I was gonna say, we did also, like, get like a funny kind of sneak peek into like video content that Ubisoft is behind as
Yeah,
well. I just wanted
yeah.
to like mention that just because I thought it was really interesting. It was sort of like tacked in there weirdly.
Hmm.
But like I would go see Werewolves Within, like
It
the
looks
movie that
funny.
they promoted. It looks
Yeah.
very funny.
No, I,
Like,
yeah. This
yeah,
is
I
kind
know
of out of nowhere for me, but
it really was. Like I was not expecting that, and then it kind of snuck in there and I was like, "Okay." Like,
yeah,
intrigued, tell me more. So, yeah, depending on what streaming platforms it's going to be running on, because I think they said it'll be in theaters, but then on demand on a streaming platform, even though they didn't say who. I'd go see it.
yeah. And then Ashley and I always notice that at the end of every episode of Mythic Quest, it says Ubisoft.
Hmm. Yes. Yep.
So it's
Yeah, it's something I forgot. Like they've already ventured into this territory and done a good job.
yeah.
Um, so now they're building on that, which good on them because
I
I
bet
like Mythic
they
Quest.
I bet they go to Ubisoft for like like animations, because in the show Mythic Quest,
Sure.
they're playing. The company is making video games, and they show these
Hmm.
cinematics and stuff. I bet some team at Ubisoft does that.
How
So
fun would that be?
yeah.
Just like make a fake, frame for a game. Like
Hmm.
whatever you want it to be, whatever game you think would just be fun. You don't have to create the whole thing. You just have to create like a little short, like
Yep.
that would be fun.
They probably are in the background building all kinds of lore around it anyways,
Right, I
and
know.
just can't
That'd
help
be that
themselves.
that would actually be really cool if that team building those frames and building like those kind of little shorts would eventually take that and make that into a full game and be like, yeah, you saw it first on Mythic
Yeah.
Quest, but now it's like
Hmm.
actually happening.
Hmm.
That'd be fun.
And then we had the Devolver Digital event, which is
Hmm.
so weird. It's just so weird. I mean, they should just play it on Adult Swim. That's where it belongs or something. Um, but they have good games to show often. It's just intercut with these really weird, I don't know, like supposed to be I don't know, really self-aware kind of commentary or whatever. I don't know, it's very strange. Don't recommend sitting through all of it. I don't know, it's too much.
I
But
did not, so I'm glad to hear like me skipping this
okay.
was just fine.
I mean, you tune in the very first moments and you'll understand like what the hell is this.
All right.
um Trek to Yomi is a game though that looks really cool. It's a side-scrolling black and white samurai game.
Okay.
So I'm pumped for that. I shared that with our guest Dustin from a couple weeks ago. I know he'll be
Yeah,
interested in that.
absolutely.
Phantom Abyss is a game they showed earlier. We'd seen at a different event. Looks kind of cool. It's about like escaping tombs. I think you swing around with a whip and stuff or something. And then Death's Door was one that I think they showed last year as well. Uh,
Uh-huh.
um, Alan says Pitfall. Yeah, it's kind of like Pitfall. Yeah. Um, Death's Door is a game where you play a crow. You get to play a crow, and you go through these different dungeons and stuff. And it's I don't know, just it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like it's got a kind of a unique style and sense of humor to which a game like this needs, in a category that's pretty full. There's a lot
Right.
of sort of either Metroidvania or roguelike games, or somewhere in the middle these days. And so you need something to stand out. And I think this one looks pretty unique. So yeah, that was, I forget if that was over a course of 1 or 2 days, but it was a bunch. And I couldn't
Didn't
possibly
need to
watch
be.
quite all of it, but yeah. Yeah. So, unless there's anything else you want to say about those events, I wanted to get into the Xbox
Mhm.
slash Bethesda event.
Yeah.
So that was on Sunday,
Mhm.
and it was, I would say, for my general impressions, it was a fast, well-paced show, and they showed
Yes.
quite a bit.
Yes.
Like there was minimal talking, there was no delay, production value was
Mhm.
nice. They brought
Mhm.
out some people on a stage, in their pre-recorded thing to just talk a bit. I even liked, like, they did some talking beforehand in a Fan Fest online video. They talked to some people, that was good as well.
Yeah.
But they kicked the show off with Starfield. Todd Howard, is behind Starfield and worked at Bethesda, that's kind of his baby, and so that's how they started things out,
Mhm.
which was pretty big deal. And so
Yeah.
for anyone, I see you put in the notes too, anyone that was wondering for sure, they
Mhm.
nailed it down. It's an exclusive to
Yep.
the Xbox platform.
Mhm.
Anything that has Game Pass will play it, or Xbox PC. So,
Right, right.
yep,
Yeah, I think this is a smart exclusive.
yep,
I think this is a draw exclusive.
yep. And they wanted to show this because they were showing was supposed to be in engine graphics. That was the
Yes.
idea, you know. We still don't know gameplay, we don't know story,
Mhm.
we don't know much still,
Mhm.
but we're a little more than a year off, so we got a release date.
Yep.
Um, so I'm okay with what we have now, and then them being silent on it till like next year,
Yeah.
next E3 or something, then give it to us.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, don't ruin it now by like repeating it too much. This
yep,
looks great. Excited, whetted my appetite, like just go focus on making the game.
yep, yep. Um, what else? Oh, let me tell you the room while the trailer's going here quick. If you're
Yeah.
watching, let me tell you the other rumor that's been going
Yeah.
around.
Get in
The
the dirt.
rumor is that Tom Cruise may be the star of this game,
Really?
like in his likeness,
Mhm.
mocapped, and as one of the main characters of this game. So probably not who you play. I'm guessing who you play is your creation. I'm guessing it'll
Sure,
be
yeah.
like Skyrim or something like that. You'll create your own. You'll see yourself in the game or whatever you want to play. And but yeah, I don't know if it's one of the biggest kept secrets
Interesting.
because like we'll see. I don't know.
Interesting.
You know how rumors work on the internet these days. They spread like
Right.
wildfire, and it's going to be based on basically nothing. But
Right, yeah.
um,
One person has it on their blog somewhere, or like one person
yeah,
tweets it out and
right.
suddenly it's like everybody's like, "Oh my god,
So
did you hear?" Yeah.
I'm doing my share in spreading
That's
essentially
right,
baseless
circulate it
rumors.
around.
Yeah. So, what else did you see from this event that you liked or didn't like?
Yeah. So a couple of games that I was very interested in, sidestepping the repeat of 12 minutes because I feel like we've already talked about that enough. Um,
Hmm.
Stalker 2 looked,
Stalker. Okay. Yep.
yeah, like it looked really cool to me. And these like anomalies that you have to watch out for in the game really looked fascinating. I just thought like it was a cool concept. There were cool ways to find them. And oh, sorry, I was just reading a comment from Alan. Um, yeah, I thought the entire gameplay was intriguing. So Stalker was definitely one that looked great to me.
Hmm.
Um, and then Contraband was another one where
Okay.
the trailer sold me. Um,
Sure.
yeah. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
like loading up, and I was just like, yeah. Like starting the whole production value of the trailer was just like fantastic. So,
Yep. Yeah, I I like that, last year we got these teases for the hey, we're working on Fable, hey, Everwild. We're getting a few things, and there's not much on. Well, they didn't retread that this year. They
mhm.
didn't like go back and show us something when they don't have anything more to show us. So, but we're instead now getting some more teases of upcoming stuff that, well, again,
Mhm.
will probably go silent for quite a while. And
Yeah.
that's all right. We just, um,
But
but
like what a cool
here it
way to
says,
like introduce like
hmm
the concepts of this game,
yep,
co-op open world in these like photo stills of, like what it's going to be like.
yep. My wonder is like, so I'd wrote, is it an open world co-op Uncharted
Mhm.
response?
Mhm.
Is this a going and, tomb raiding, stealing treasure, adventuring kind of thing, but, you know, with friends if you want kind of thing. It could be cool. I mean, they're working on uh an Indiana Jones game too. Machine Games is. So there might be a couple options here in Uncharted like games soon. But certainly adding co-op would change things up. That's
Right.
I don't know, that's the vibe I get anyways from this kind of trailer. So
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the nice things about a trailer like this is it leaves a lot open to interpretation, giving you some like little tidbits to be like, okay, that's what this, like we said,
mhm.
co-op open world kind of thing, but also like a lot still left to the imagination. Like, what will this be?
Well, I mean, the common complaint today is, we want gameplay. Give me gameplay. We want gameplay. And I get that, particularly for a game that's coming soon. But when you have a game that's
Yeah,
out of ways, you've got, I still don't think there's anything wrong with teasing people with something.
I
Give them a
agree.
tease, let them know what you're working on, and get them
Right.
excited about something. And that's what I think the event handled well. It was enough of a mix of things that we hadn't seen before that are a ways
Mhm.
out and teases, things that we had seen before with a little more detail, or,
Yep.
hey, this is coming to Game Pass now.
Mhm.
And then things that, are coming pretty soon. So we get a little, we get a firm release date, or we get a lot more details on it and that kind of thing. So it's kind
Right.
of mixing it up.
Yeah, and to people who would complain about, give me gameplay. Like my complaint with that is never like I need to see gameplay. I only need to see gameplay when you tell me you're going to show me gameplay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to tell me that that's what you're going to do, you cannot give me like 30 seconds of gameplay spliced into pre-recorded footage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that
Which
to
part
me
was
is cheap
gameplay?
and
Yeah.
terrible. Right.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like then I'm going
Mhm.
to be upset with you. If you're not promising me that, then no, you have no obligation to show me that. And
Right.
I think, in some cases like here it's better to just kind of like whet the appetite rather than be like let's give everything away.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Um, there was a lot more I was interested in.
Mhm.
I am excited that Hades is coming to Game Pass, though.
Yeah.
To Xbox and Game Pass, though I am bummed that it doesn't have the cross save stuff. Like before, you could bring your save from the Switch to your PC and that kind of thing. So that's a bummer. Um, Halo, they finally they showed again. Everybody was thought was either for video watchers. Andrea's trying to fix her light there, so
I
it's
am.
not just like
Just
um
slowly rolling out of the screen. Just try not
yeah.
to listen to John. Don't care.
Yeah, well, the big talk was when is Halo? When are they going to show Halo? Was it going to be what opens the show? Or was it what's going to be the
Right.
close of the show? And it was neither. They dropped it in the middle, and they kind of just like just did a big showing you the multiplayer. They announced that
Yeah.
the multiplayer is going to be free to play. And they showed a lot
Mhm.
of kind of classic moments that you'd be looking at. They did do a little bit another story cinematic thing, um which, I mean, Master Chief is cheating on Cortana. That's all I have to say. So, um yeah, we'll see. I mean, they have a lot to live up to, but it seems like the reception from what they saw for multiplayer does have
Mhm.
fans excited anyways for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and free to play is the right way to go.
Mhm.
I
I
think
agree.
in this day and age. So, if it's good, people will spend time in it and people will spend money in it. They will buy
Mhm.
season passes, they will buy cosmetics, they will, yeah, all the things. They will make their money. If it's good, it's got to be good. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean,
yep.
pressure's on.
Yep. Yep.
Between delays
So,
and anniversaries for Halo, it's
yep.
really gotta be something special.
So I'm glad people are liking the way it looks. I think it looks good, but
Mhm.
the weird thing is, and I'm not the only one to notice it, is no release date.
Yeah,
So
yep.
it's coming this year. It still tells me that, like, I don't know, there's something that they just are pushing last minute to have happen, to polish or
Mhm.
whatever. And they're going to take
Yep.
like up to
All
December 31st,
yes, yes,
like
yes.
whatever. And
The very last minute, yep.
yeah, right. So I'm a little worried about that, but cross my fingers.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
I mean, I feel like they feel the pressure too. So,
yep.
whatever it is, I guess I'm glad that they're, you know, at least in this in my mind, this is the scenario. They want to get it right. They want to do it well because they feel the pressure to do so. So they're going to take as much time as they can to make it the
Yep.
best. So I'm hoping that's the scenario. So,
See, the thing is that, the odd thing to me is like, this is the point that you'd maybe start announcing public betas and stuff, so
oh
you can
yeah,
get out
sure.
there and start stress testing your servers and everything in advance. But
Mhm.
none of that either. So
Mm-mm.
it's a bit concerning.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a lot of beta announcements over the course of this week. You
Yep.
know,
Hmm. Yep.
yeah, not Halo though.
So I was surprised you put in the comments that you used to play Diablo all the time.
Yes, I did.
So do you recall which one?
3,
Like the first one?
Diablo 3.
3. Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, I had a friend of mine who introduced me to Diablo 3. Like he was very into PC gaming um early on. Like I mean, he just was a PC gamer from like a very young age and he was very into it and I didn't know this until like middle school. But yeah, he played Diablo 3 and that's when I would go over to his house. Don't tell my parents, but I used to like sneak out of my house in the summer and go over to his house and play Diablo 3. So that
Go to a
yeah,
boy's bedroom and play
I
some devil
know.
game.
I know. I know. My god.
Wow.
If my parents only knew wh-
How
what
did
kind of
you
a
turn out
what kind of
okay?
a sinner they raised.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So that was just really fun. Like for me that was just like a couple of games kind of sprinkled throughout um this entire week in different showcases just sort of like took me back to my childhood. And Diablo was definitely one of them. So that was fun to see
Nice.
because I just hadn't thought about it in such a long time.
Yeah. Well, you can get back in on it. It'll be all remade and
Yes.
awesome. I
Yes.
listened to a
I was just gonna say I forgot that like there's a lot of different things that I have dipped my toe into and I forgot that like PC gaming used to be a big thing for me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
when I think of gaming now, I think of my console gaming because that's
Yep.
usually exclusively what I do. But yeah, I used to like my first foray into gaming was kind of PC gaming. So forgot how into that I
Yeah.
used to be.
Well, we could play it.
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah,
I listened
absolutely.
to an interview. So the person running the Diablo franchise now is the guy that used to run the Gears franchise for a number of
Oh my
years.
god.
Gears of War.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, Ron Ferguson, I think, is his name. Um, yeah, Rod Ferguson. And he was at the Coalition doing all the Gears of War stuff. And yeah, he left not all that long ago, and now he's doing Diablo. And so yeah, I
Awesome.
listened to an interview with him today, and he said, "Oh, you play this game, it really is the original game running underneath. It's just like they've given a new coat of paint.
Sure.
They're owned by Activision, so
Yep.
they went to the people that do all the like cinematics for Blizzard games and stuff to like recreate the cutscenes and stuff to make them
Mhm.
all modernized and impressive. So yeah,
Awesome.
should be good. Should be good. Um, there's a number of other things I really liked. Atomic Heart looks like BioShock. We saw that a
Yep.
little bit before. I'm excited for that. I hope it's good. Replaced is a very cool looking to me side
Mhm.
scrolling kind of pixel arts awesome
Mhm.
game. I'm looking forward to trying that one.
Yeah.
I think Outer Worlds 2 had
Yeah.
the best trailer of everything probably because I just loved the sense of humor that was in that.
Sure.
I thought that was great. You noted Among Us. Are you a big Among Us player?
I am not. No. I just know it's like a very of the moment
Mm,
game. So it's just like, "Oh, right. This is in there too." Like kind of slipped in among newer games. They just were like, "Yep. See you Among Us," you know.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
smart it's just a
y-
smart little addition to all of this new announcement.
Yep. I might actually. I think I might use this new Forza game to be my first one to like really try to get
Okay.
back into a racing game. Because my
Sure.
sister and I used to play racing games a lot against each other or whatever. Um, Now it's mostly just Mario Kart. If it's any sort of racing
Yeah.
game. So,
It's
and I'm
classic.
not
How
in,
could you not?
yeah, and I'm not into sim racers or whatever. So the Forza Horizon series is the way to go. Looks like
Mhm.
they've beautifully recreated lots of parts of
Yeah,
Mexico.
wow.
So,
Like
yeah,
you noted, Flight Sim and Forza looked beautiful.
yep,
Just
yep.
absolutely amazing.
And then they closed the show out with Redfall.
I
So,
loved that.
yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh? I mean, again,
Yes.
cinematic to like sell us
Yep.
on the idea of the game,
Yep.
what it's gonna be like. So, but yeah, it's made by one of my favorites developers. So under the Bethesda umbrella, Arcane Studios, and
Mhm.
this particular Arcane team, they made the first Dishonored, which is
Oh, okay.
incredible,
Yeah.
and they made Prey, which is in my top best games of all time. So
Mhm.
those are like the two. I love both of them, so I am absolutely in for whenever this comes out and whatever this is like. Again,
Absolutely.
another Left for Dead kind of game, but with vampires and kind of unique
Yeah.
vampires. They look very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Unique vampires, but not over the top. You know what I mean? Like they had like unique characteristics and abilities without feeling, and this was something I felt even though I know the monsters are different, but I felt this with Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Extraction when they were introducing like the different kinds of aliens that you could find in the extraction zone.
Hmm.
They started off like grounded and believable and okay, like this one can do this and this one is, like um is sensing you here and this one has like an electric shock attack or whatever. And then all of a sudden they were just like multiplying into these like crazy like like big bosses kind of thing, and it just felt like so far out there. Redfall to me felt like this is going to be fun. Like the
Sure.
different vampires are just going to be fun to go fight.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of character and style to each of them and stuff.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, this game really excited me as well. And I thought the trailer was excellent.
Yeah.
Probably one of my contenders for best of show.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's kind of, I mean, people before the show were expecting this vampire game from
Mhm.
Arcane, but had no idea what form that would take.
Mhm.
And so I think that it kind of, I mean, for me, anyways, it exceeded expectations and what it's what's looking like and kind of,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, it was a fun trailer, unique characters for sure with it as well. You know,
Mhm.
it's gonna be colorful and crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, kind of like a
Um,
uh art style of um Wonderlands mixed with like the humor and fun of Back for Blood and
mhm,
the fighting
yep.
style. So, kind of meshed both of those and I was really interested in that.
I did note that there was no Hellblade update, no
Right.
Persona. I think maybe Persona was coming to Game Pass. No Kojima announcement. There's talks of
Mhm.
that Xbox is working with Kojima, that kind
Mhm.
of thing, and no specific Halo release date. Those are kind of my
Right.
omissions or things that I thought maybe were going to be there.
Right.
Um, but I will say to tack on to this, tomorrow, if you're watching this live, tomorrow, Thursday, the
Yeah.
17th. Yeah,
Yes.
Thursday the 17th at noon Central Time. There's going to be another Xbox event.
Mhm.
This one is going to be, it seems, more about interviews. There's a popular YouTuber podcaster that's hosting this, and it's going to be, I think, talking to people from 343 and people from Obsidian, and we could get just more details on stuff that's kind of been talked about already, or they could throw in something new. We don't know exactly. I think they mentioned they were going to talk to Ninja Theory though. They're working on different
Okay.
projects, so that's something that wasn't in the main showcase. So we know there's potential, at least for some things that weren't shown in the first event. I think this is good. They didn't stop the flow of this event to to do interviews or anything like that, or to do live gameplay segments. They
Mhm.
kept it rolling, and it wasn't too long and whatever. And so now they had them like the follow up day. They had some more gameplay and talks with Forza people. Then they did one for the Halo multiplayer, and now tomorrow they're going to do another kind of series of interviews or something. So kind of
Mhm.
keeping a little bit of something from Xbox in people's mouth throughout the week.
Yep.
So I think it's a good strategy. And yeah, what would you rate the Xbox event?
I would probably give them like a B plus A minus.
Yep, I think I'm right
You
in there
know,
too.
yeah,
Yep.
kind of that range.
I,
Like really good, not excellent, but really solid, solid plus.
mhm. I think they needed, I think if they would have had an exact release date or like beta schedule for Halo and like
Mhm.
one other shocking surprise thing, like I say,
Yes.
like Persona 3 through 5 all coming to Game Pass,
Right.
and
Right.
they're working on the next one and that's going to become an Xbox. It's something like that. One more thing and it would
Right.
have
Yeah. Push them into like
but
AA plus. Yeah.
yep. Yep. Then we had what I would call like the doldrums of the gaming week. Like it was,
The
I thought
midweek
it was
drag.
sad. Yeah. We went into Square Enix event, the PC game show, the future game
Mhm.
showcase. We had an event with just talking to Verizon for a whole bunch of time. There was a new
Yeah.
console reveal and the indie game showcase and Capcom. And I thought that almost all of these things were duds.
Yes.
Um,
I didn't watch all of them. The few that I did, I glanced through, although I did try to pay a little bit more attention to Capcom just because I was, trying to see if there was anything new or interesting about Res Evil. Um, but yeah, like what downers for like an
mhm,
exciting start to game week, basically. Yeah.
yep.
Ugh.
Square Enix should have just partnered with other people to put their games on in their presentation. You know,
Mhm.
they didn't have enough that people were interested in to do their own showcase. So
Mhm.
don't, maybe
Yeah,
let a few people throw a little money your way to get your game on their stage, or don't hold an event and just release some new trailers on YouTube. Just put them on the
exactly.
website, like you can be there, you don't need a and then you don't have that everybody sitting there judging you or whatever.
Yep.
Stuff like the PC game show or future game showcase, stuff that just seems to linger on and on. Like people aren't going to sit through and watch all of that.
Mhm.
Especially indie games are very niche. Like there's a lot of great ones but something very specific that you're interested in often. And then a whole
Right.
bunch of other ones you're not. So like you're going to sit there this whole thing and watch like, oh, I mean, I guess if you want background television, but it's not no consideration for pacing then or anything like that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
um, Verizon being at E3 is just weird. It just seemed like a corporate, like just a corporate attempt to, hey, we're sponsoring
Like a
E3,
shill,
so give
yeah.
us stage time to like, try to sell you that why we should be here and why you would care about us.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
the new
better when
cons
you fade into the background.
yeah,
Like,
just
great on you for sponsoring, but, like, that's it. Just, like, be like, "Verizon's the sponsor, fade away."
Verizon, sponsored by Verizon 5G, the ultimate gaming experience on the go, powered by Verizon, whatever.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Those little blips in there are more than enough.
yeah, we're enough. This new console is gonna flop. I would bet
Yeah.
almost everything on it. The Intellivision Amico. It felt like something straight out of the early 2000s, trying to like capitalize on some sort of Wii gimmick kind of the thing. No one's gonna even know
Mhm.
what this is. Um,
Yeah.
no,
And
the
it's
indie.
I think it's ridiculously priced for what it
Oh,
is.
I didn't even see what it was.
Two
I saw the game
250 for
prices.
the yeah, 250 for the, like, basic version, and then 3 for an upgraded,
Mm, yeah,
and I think that's too much.
yeah. I mean, I'll be surprised if it, doesn't just completely
I mean,
bomb, but
maybe,
you never know.
but yeah.
Yep. I thought I saw all the indie game showcase. It seemed really short. Maybe I missed something because I know everybody was looking for a Silk Song, wasn't there. I was thinking maybe it's time for a new Stardew, but then I saw, I think it was outside of this showcase later, just announced, like other
Yeah,
companies should do, just announcing that Starmancer by the
which
creators of
is
Stardew is
fine.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put out a video online, put out a trailer, done. Boom. I'm excited. So
Yeah, I mean, this would be the time, people are looking for gaming news online, so
yeah,
they're still gonna find you.
and
So, yeah, don't put the
every
pressure on yourself to, like, host a lame event. Just put your
yep,
trailer out there and people are gonna find it because they're gonna be looking for stuff already.
yep. And no matter, it's a third party tile, whatever system it's going to be on, that company will slap their logo on it and put it on their YouTube page. It's
Mhm,
the way it is
mhm.
for all of them, If it's,
Yep.
it's just so, yeah. And so I saw a few other ones like that. The Gestalt as a game, kind of a Metroidvania that looks kind of cool to me. And then Doki
Mhm.
Doki Literature Club Plus coming to the Switch. That is a game that everyone should play.
Okay.
It is, yes,
I
it
do
is an
not know this
interesting
game,
game.
but
Oh man.
I'm loving the title.
Never, never, don't look up much about it. If you're
Okay.
ever gonna consider playing it, just buy when it's on sale or whatever, it probably can find it not very expensive. And it's not very long.
Okay.
And it's just a great experience and not what you'd expect. And I
Okay.
think that the game, you ruin it if you tell anyone much more about it. So
Okay. All right.
even watching the trailer, I don't like watching the trailer. It's like too much. Just
Okay.
just
So
play
sight
this
unseen, just
game.
go in, roll
Yeah.
the dice, do it. Okay.
Japanese dating sim. Bam, do it.
All right.
You'll be surprised.
All right.
So Alan says yup. That's right. it's a
I love it.
it's
Yup with the
a
ellipses afterward. Just yup.
it is a very unique game. It is actually a very impactful and thoughtful game.
Okay.
It's a good one, and it's short and sweet. So yeah.
Okay. All right. You're selling me.
Free? I don't think it's free. I don't know where it would
Mm.
be free unless it's really on sale somewhere. But yeah, I think you can
Well,
get it for like $10. So
yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Capcom, they didn't really have any news. It just said that, hey, we are working on new DLC for Resident Evil Village.
Yep.
Um,
Which I'm
you know,
excited about, although that wasn't really like an announcement.
hmm
you know, like not really
yep,
like interesting.
yep. I don't know what Alan's posting here. Something
Oh, he found it free
it's free on Steam
on
right now.
Steam. Whoa.
Oh my
Hello.
God, Windows and Mac. It's on Mac too. So whatever you
Wow.
want to play it on.
All right. All right. Well,
See, you don't get the plus. You don't get the like extra like photo gallery and some extra storyline stuff, but it always has been. What? Okay, well, I thought I bought it, but if you say it's always been free, then I guess I didn't.
somebody
So
duped you, John.
I'll take your word. No, I got it on Steam.
Some rando took your money.
Yeah. Well, that's sad because I would gladly pay for this game. I would gladly pay for this game. So, yeah. Okay. So after the sad stuff ended,
Mhm.
Tuesday rolled around and we had the Nintendo event.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Nintendo event?
I thought it was good. I thought for I mean they didn't have a lot of content that I hadn't seen or heard about
Right.
before. But it was a well paced event. It was short and sweet. With like little sneak peeks plus a little bit more in some cases than we'd gotten before. So I thought it was a well done event. Probably put it back where like we'd put Summer Game Fest, like BB minus category. Um, Not quite as good as I thought like the Xbox Bethesda event was, but still solid and still fun to tune into.
hmm Yeah, I don't know that I love the narration always for the Nintendo stuff. It's
Mhm.
corny. I mean, I get it.
It is corny,
Um, but
but
it's
it's their
kind of
thing
like
now.
I know, I know. I just kind of want the content to be able to speak for itself. And it's
Sure.
like if it can't speak for itself, then it's not a good enough trailer. But I guess they're just trying to do it quickly. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then just expedite things, they have describe it. But
Well, and they're not I feel like the difference is Nintendo's not like the big cinematic trailer type of games, that sort of like lend themselves to like being like, here, let's put together these clips that are, either like really unexpectedly funny or like really dramatic or are going to showcase like, these breathtaking landscapes or stuff like that. They just don't have those games. So they just probably feel like this is the best way to like transition between, you know,
well, I mean, we see some more of that now. Nintendo's like move. into some of that a little bit, and
I
they've
mean
done a really good
some.
job with the Smash Bros stuff. Like they're always
Yeah.
for the new character reveals, they're always showcasing, and they're very well done cinematic, some sort of fun video. And I like when they unveiled Sephiroth. There was a really cool video of Sephiroth taking on everybody, and then they made it look like he'd stabbed Mario, and
Yeah.
very dramatic and fun. And now for the Tekken edition
Smash,
here,
yeah.
I thought that was
Mhm.
cool too. He's like tossing everybody over the edge, and then he at the end he throws Kirby, and expect he just puffs up, that's funny. And yeah, I like it. But yeah, I guess my complaint is there were a lot of things that we knew were coming because they'd
Mhm.
done directs
Yeah,
before about them. So like I kind of I'll get my complaints out of the way, I guess. Like I think that Mario Party Superstars should be DLC.
I
They could
agree.
charge $20 for it. They have not supported the Super Mario Party well that is on the Switch right now. It's
Mhm,
sold like it's sold like hotcakes.
mhm.
So they know this new one will sell like hotcakes. So that's fine. It's just it would be much better to just have a. I mean, we look at the state of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where there's so much content in there. There's so many characters, so many maps, so much music, and in this now Super Mario Party All Superstars, it's just they could have added these things in a season pass over
Yeah.
the course of months, and I would have much preferred it over, you know, now having to switch game cartridges because I want to play the new maps and then the old maps and stuff for
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. I love that this is coming out, but I agree with you regarding format.
Mhm. Yep.
Like, because, like,
Yep.
this to me is just like another classic childhood game, classic childhood memories of all these like mini games. And I
Yep.
loved the mini games. But yeah, just make it some DLC.
Yep. Monster Hunter Stories 2, I feel like we'd heard about that. Then we saw a
Mhm.
trailer and some more trailers, and we saw a trailer again. So it's nothing new. It's just, again, to have it on the Nintendo stage. I think they need to work this stuff out a little bit better, have content. If you're going to be at E3, where does it go? It doesn't have to
Right.
go all the places. And I suppose the idea is that not, a bunch of people watching the Nintendo event aren't going to watch the other events and vice
Right.
versa. So, but still, um,
Right, because how
and
many
then
times did we see 12 minutes?
yeah, exactly. Yep. Mario Golf again, awesome. I'm excited for that game,
Mhm.
but we didn't get any, it's not really anything new here.
No,
We
wasn't new at
already
all.
knew about it. You knew if you wanted it or not.
Yep.
So there it is. We knew the Hyrule Warriors expansion pass was coming. We got
Mhm.
some new details on it, but again, and then they briefly showed Skyward Sword, just reminding you that that's coming. So again,
Mhm.
it's a lot of things adding up to some time. Uh, Astria Ascending, all stuff that we were familiar with and knew was happening. So if you remove
Mhm.
all that, there's a lot less.
Yes.
But that's kind of my gripes out of the way, I guess. So,
Yeah, I agree with, like my assessment as well was, we didn't really get a whole lot that's new. But at least with the things that we didn't see were new, they kept it brief.
yep, yep,
So,
yeah, it
all
was
right,
speedy.
you wanted to fill out a show, fine. Not exactly, thrilling me here with your content, but, you know, at least if you were going to try and be like, "Oh, it's just like a little reminder," you kept it short.
Yep, and it's not fair because like I'm gonna buy the new Mario Party, I'm gonna buy Mario
Mhm.
Golf, like I'm gonna get these things. So,
Yeah.
um, the
But you
big
were
thing for
probably
me
already
was
sold.
yes, exactly. I was already buying it. So,
Yep.
um, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Long in production, long rumored game or whatever, 2D side-scrolling Metroid game, Metroid Dread.
Mhm.
Um, I think that they are adding a level of cinematic quality to this, like really
Yeah.
cool. kind of scenes, and the Samus has some new armor that's really fun looking, and
Yeah.
it plays smooth and fast. So, and it's coming
Yeah.
pretty soon. It's coming this year.
This was really unexpected for me. Like an unexpected, kind of insertion in Nintendo's lineup here. Like it was
Mhm.
just it felt just so different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the
Mhm.
the 2D Metroid, and
Yes.
it's kind of one of those things like when Valve won't make a Left for Dead, other people are stepping up to the plates to do it. Well, in the
Yeah.
years since um, they basically stopped making much for 2D Metroid games and
Mhm.
Castlevania, uh, for that matter, the indie industry has taken up the reins to create that themselves. And so finally, the game that inspired so many
Mhm.
is getting a new entry.
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
and I'm not good at these games, and I hopefully will play it some. But I always love the vibe and the aesthetic and the music and all that stuff. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, WarioWare.
Yeah.
Finally, WarioWare! Yay! I love WarioWare. Do you play WarioWare at all?
I think I have just briefly. So I couldn't tell you much about it, but definitely like known of its existence.
Sure. Yep. No, tons of, they call them micro games, really
Mhm.
short burst of gameplay, but then mixed in there some other ones that's just like basically high score, how far can you go kind of games.
Yeah.
And this one's got like co-op, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad this was people were people have been wanting it. Some have been thinking it's maybe gonna show up, but I don't know. Not too many people had confidence it was gonna be at this show. I don't think so. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Good on Nintendo. They got a few surprises there.
If you're watching, just look how absolutely ridiculous it is.
I
It's so
love it.
ridiculous and
I love it.
insane. So, yep. Um, I mean, besides the show close, basically. Um,
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
that's yeah. Is there anything else you want to mention from the show that was really important to you or something?
Um, I guess the other two games that caught my eye were Fatal Frame, looked absolutely beautiful. Um, I don't know much to anything about this, game, but it looked amazing. Absolutely, like I said, just like beautiful graphics, just so
Sure.
fantastic. So I was just kind of, I don't know, probably in the sea of very like funny and cute games. This just sort of caught my eye as, again, something different. So,
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
and
Be
then
too scary for me.
be too scary for you.
It'll be too scary for me. I don't. Yeah. I
You
don't
never play scary things. You don't like scary things.
know. Yeah, Resident Evil Village is about as scary as I need. That's about it.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, off topic, I have actually gotten scared a little bit by some like really random stuff in Res Evil Village.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
excited to talk about that because like
Mhm.
I'm not really like a like Resident Evil doesn't like scare me, give me nightmares kind of thing, but like there were a couple moments where I was like, "Ah, shit, got me."
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but going back to Nintendo, Danganronpa, um,
Oh, okay.
that looked
Yeah.
really fun. Like the
Perfect Switch
celebration,
games. Yeah.
decadence since it's been a decade, decadence. I was like, I get it. You're doing a clever thing there. So,
Yeah, no, I know Ashley's played a couple of them,
mhm.
and yeah, they're well done, and they're
Yes.
difficult, and I think they're well acted, and we've
Mhm.
seen some of the anime as well. So
Yes, right.
yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
was
I
just
feel
bummed to not see a date though, so obviously I have no idea when it's coming out.
right. Yep. So then we got to the Zelda bit at the end,
Yeah.
Zelda
Mhm.
anniversary. So it's Metroid anniversary, Super Monkey Ball anniversary, which that's another game coming out. Um, um, Alan says Fatal Frame was released 20 years ago, so and
Oh,
lots
yeah,
of
okay.
anniversaries this year. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, no
Zelda being
kidding.
amongst them. They're doing a Game and Watch little pocket system that has like 4 different Zelda games on it. I have the Mario version. I think I've showed that on the podcast before.
Right.
They're going to do a Zelda one now. They reminded us that Skyward Sword is coming um, soon, and then they showed
Yeah, I'm
another
excited
trailer for
about
Breath
that.
of the Wild 2.
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild 2, they said they have a name for it, but they're not going to say what it is because it will reveal too much potentially. So
Mhm.
fans are combing over the trailer, trying to figure out what they saw and what's happening and all this stuff. And um, I'm excited. I'm A lot of people were expecting it maybe this year. Uh, um, they said they're aiming for 2022.
Mm.
Aiming for
Yeah, keywords.
2022. So, but honestly, I mean, I've played many hours of Breath of the Wild, and I could play many hours more. I'm perfectly fine if they need to take another year or two. Just make it the best game you can. I
Yes.
wouldn't be surprised if this is a new, Super Nintendo Switch exclusive. I wouldn't be surprised if they like push it for whatever this refreshed hardware that supposedly is coming.
Right.
Um, I don't know. We'll see. Or just, they wanna it will run kind of like crap on their regular Switch and then they'll run well on the new one. But I thought the trailer was cool. It's
Yeah.
dramatic. It looks both trailers have suggested darker than the first Breath of the Wild in tone, I think.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm excited. But other interesting thing was there was rumors that there was people, some people were so confident that Bayonetta was going to be shown at the showcase, as was this like combo Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD for the Switch, and neither of those things showed up. So
Nope. Nope.
pretty interesting. I think if all those things had shown up there, that would have put my score up another, half point or so.
Yeah, I think so as well, but I feel like with Nintendo, I've just come to expect that they're not doing a lot. You know what I mean? Like they just don't have like showcases that are like we have like 10 new games or we have, 20 games we're working on or whatever. So I just don't feel like I ever go into their gaming showcases or live streams or events thinking like I'm going to see a bunch of stuff. Do you know what I
Well, I
mean?
mean, yeah, I think that comes the way I think seeing it that way comes from how they share stuff,
Yeah.
how they've had shared stuff before, right? Because if you look at it, they're releasing um for completely new games. They're releasing Metroid Dread, WarioWare,
Mhm.
Mario Golf, um, and uh, let's see. Oh, and they just did the Game Builder
Mhm.
one. Um, that's 4 games, brand
Mhm.
new this year. That's not
Mhm.
including um, the Skyward Sword like HDify remaster and
Mhm.
the Mario Party Superstars, which is basically a new one but using classic boards.
Right.
Um, that's that's 6 games. When what does Sony's plan for this year? They've this year they have Ratchet right now and they had Returnal.
Yeah,
And
I
then we're
think
gonna get
like
Horizon, so 3.
right. But like I think other gaming companies like showcase more at a time and
Hmm.
Nintendo doesn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
they aren't inclined to show a bunch of different stuff at a time. They'll do X number of events like showing you the same things with like one or two new additions. Whereas like other showcases are like, let's check out these like 40 different games, even if they're years away from being released. Like
Yep.
Nintendo isn't about that. So
Yep.
so to me, like them not having stuff like this is just like, yeah, no, they're not focused on that right now.
Yep.
They'll whenever they get to it, it'll show up in like the next, 5 or 6 live stream events or whatever because they're ready to focus on that now.
Yep. And I get like they can't win in a way because there's so
Yeah.
much like attention on them that for a while it was like, oh my God, we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in however many months. Like the countdown was, that was going up. Are they ever, is Nintendo ever gonna talk again? And then they finally show something, to like whether they're just ready or they cave to the pressure, they show something and then,
Right.
oh my God, it's not enough, like, well, I didn't
Right.
want to see
Right.
that or whatever. Or they do these little partner showcases and stuff, and it just everybody has such high expectations for every
Mhm.
single one of them
Right.
because everybody's always hoping, because there are obvious things Nintendo could do that wouldn't take them that much effort, that would make them oodles of money. And so
Mhm.
fans get excited that they are going to do that, but they don't do that. And so
Yeah, someone should tell their team.
well, I
You know
mean,
what
like there are
I
obvious things like, that they could do that just would be,
Yeah.
if they just they have the original Metroid games on the
Mhm.
online service. Do you know how many
Mhm.
people would buy Metroid like 1 through 3 or whatever on a cartridge in a
Right.
steelbook case for $60? A lot of people would buy it. Somebody would buy multiple copies. You could release a new
Right.
version of it in a new steel case the next year and more people would buy it. Like Nintendo has rabid fans that will buy all their stuff without thinking. And yet they seem so reluctant sometimes to release things or to put any effort into some of it. You know,
Mhm.
kids that are buying the Switch or people that are buying Switch for the first time, they haven't bought a Nintendo thing in a long time, have never played Wind Waker, one of the best Zelda games ever, or Twilight Princess. They could sell each of those for $50
Mhm.
HD and people would buy it. Like they're sitting on money, not making it. I mean, they're making tons of money, but they could make more. And
Right,
so
make more money,
when
yeah.
fans think like they'll do this because obviously you would do this, Nintendo chooses to not do it. So it's just, but I guess it's that game. It's always the like give you a little bit, keep you wanting more.
Mhm. They're good at
So
that.
yeah. Yep. So and then I won't even mention the Bandai Namco event. So
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but apparently one game.
well, I was confused. Again, so here's my other gripe about the I would just say generally I felt happy about a lot of things I got
Yeah.
shown this week. But um definitely issues and one of those being that when there's a showcase or something that's going to go live, I get a notification it's going live and I look at it, countdown, 4 hours.
Oh my god, I know.
Showcase starting in 4 hours. Oh, it's not live. It's not
No,
live, okay?
no,
Would start your
no.
live stream as something else, like do
Right.
E3 coverage, whatever, and then do a new thing when the thing is actually about to start.
Yes. Yes.
Ridiculous. So sometimes things get lost. Like I'm clicking on the
Could not
thing
agree with you
that's
more.
that says like Nintendo and Bandai and talks to whoever and whatever all in one thing, and it's somewhere in this like 8-hour stream.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, could not agree with you more there.
yep. So, all right. That's been, well, the beginning of Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
and E3.
E3. And then
Um,
yeah, tomorrow we're getting another one, extended showcase from
yeah,
Xbox.
I feel like I'm if it's yeah, I mean, you'll know if it's important enough to make our episode next week. It's
Indeed,
that
yeah.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, if we get
So,
anything truly new or, unique or special. Yeah.
yep.
But I
Yep.
mean, they've got me. They've done such a good job this week with their showcase that they've got me, excited to tune in to see. So, I guess good job
Yep.
there.
And the other thing that, like I have a picture of my wife. I'm wearing a Halo shirt. I have a picture of my wife and
Mhm.
I in Xbox gear, getting ready to watch the events. Like,
Yeah.
I want to appear too fanboyish to everybody, but I have to say that another thing that puts their event up a little higher is that so much of what they show at their event is all coming to Game Pass day one.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
constantly the list of things, even if you're like, oh, that was out before, or oh, I could have played that somewhere else, maybe, or whatever. It's like all these things, like it's just the extra thing, like maybe you didn't play that before. Now I don't have to pay anything extra to play it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
it's just it's just huge. Is it,
Yeah.
it it is it does create a difficult time deciding what's to play,
Mhm.
but
But you got the
it's just
access. So at least you
yep,
can have decisions and good
yep,
decisions. Yeah,
yep.
I think they said like out of all the games that they were showing, there were like 2, maybe 3 that weren't available day 1 for Game Pass. And I think they said that they were showing like, you know, maybe it was the 40 games that are available um for demos that or something like
Mm,
that. I don't remember, but they had acknowledged that right at the beginning of the show, like 2 or 3 weren't available via Game Pass, but like
yeah.
out of everything that they showed, that's amazing.
I mean, I think everything that I took note of, anyways, from the show, which is a pretty long
Mhm.
list, is all coming to Game Pass day one.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I just remember like a short disclaimer, but I just
yeah, no, I'm sure there was something that I probably didn't write
yeah,
down or I'm not thinking about or something, but
sure.
that's that's a big deal. So, um yeah, and thought I was going to say one more thing, but I can't think of it. So, that's been our big game coverage here.
Mhm.
The idea is that next week we'll be talking about Resident Evil Village. So good luck in your continual progress
Yeah.
uh, in Resident Evil Village. Excited to talk about it. We'll have some
Yes, me
guests
too.
on for that. We're going to be continuing to watch Loki, so to watch that along with us, and keep an eye out for our episode when we talk about the first 3 episodes of that.
Mhm.
Um, and that's about it. You should follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all those things. Leave us comments, like, share. Please leave a review on your favorite podcast directory of choice. That helps a lot, I hear, for discovery. If you can leave us a review, something positive, thumbs up, whatever, give it five
Mhm.
stars, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, and I want to thank Killing the Flower for our theme song. Their content can be found on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify,
Mhm.
duh, music service. So we thank them very much. And anything else you want to plug, Andrea?
No. No, I think you got it covered.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for joining me again. That was it for Popcast on the Rocks, episode 64. See you next week.
Sounds good. Cheers, everybody.